Hey guys, Crazy German here. Today I'm making a video just for all you beginners to Flames of War. Yes, version 4, 2018. We're going to go over some things that I recommend that you do as you become a new player so that you're not wasting your time, not wasting your money, and you can focus right into getting into the game and having fun like I have for the last 10 years with this great game. As you can see here, I am an avid Flames of War player. I've amassed a huge collection of armies in my kit bags, and as you can see right here, I have the version 4 mid-war North Africa campaign in the works right here. We're going to do some cutaways. I'm going to show you how I've got some of my lists built and some of the tips that I have for building your board. Alright guys, sit back, relax, and we're going to go over some of the tips and tricks that I can give you as a new player to Flames of War. Okay guys, we're back here in the office, and we are going to go over the tips and the ideas that I have for you new beginners to Flames of War version 4. As you can see right here on my system behind me, I have the kit that I recommend all you beginners get for this new version of Flames of War, and that is the box set called El Alamein. And it's going to give you a small German force, a small British force, dice, the mini rulebook, right? The mini rulebook. And it's going to get you on your road to getting into Flames of War. Now, there are 3 periods in Flames of War that we play: early war, mid-war, and late war. El Alamein is mid-war North Africa desert campaigns. Excellent place to start. I highly recommend you start here. It's a great starting point for the game. It's what a lot of the new books and rules and kits are coming out here this last year. The next couple of years are going to be focused on this period of the war, and it's a great place to start since it's all the latest and greatest stuff. Now, when you buy this box set, El Alamein, you will find that you'll build off of that, and that's where list building comes into play. What is list building, you ask? Well, I'm here to answer that question for you. List building is the process of taking what we call in the gaming world, the wargaming world, of point values. Now let's say you call your friend, you want him to come over and play this El Alamein box set, and let's say that each one of those starter armies is 500 points each. Well, what's 500 points? 500 points is this tank, this unit, that unit, whether it be artillery, whether it be infantry, whether it be tanks, are assigned point values. And why do we do that? We do that because we want the forces to be equally matched, so it's an even matched game. You know, have one guy coming in who has this much stuff and you have this much stuff, and obviously this guy's gonna beat you and chomp you up. So list building is where in the new book, and this is just the hardback version of the little one that I just showed you, in the back of the book it's going to have lists, and it's going to be at the company level, and it's going to replicate what they actually fought with. Let's say for the El Alamein battle, what types of tanks did the British use in that battle? Well, it's going to put them on there for you. What type of infantry units were fielded during that battle? It'll have all that on there. The artillery, the aircraft. And you can pick and choose the different types of units you want to comprise your army, and they will have a point value. And let's say the game I have out here on my board is 2,000 points per side. So as you build your army up and you expand upon your army, you can expand on the point value of who you play with as you play with your opponent, as he builds his army and builds his forces up. So that way you're dealing on an even playing field. So that's the basics of list building. It also allows you to build the army you like to play. Some guys like to have a tank heavy army. Some guys like to have a balance of tank and infantry. I like to play a balance of a little bit of everything so I can really use different types of strategies. I'll have some infantry, typically mobile infantry. I will have tanks. I will have artillery. I will have air support. That is more fun to me, and I can use different types of strategy to win the game. Now, once you buy your El Alamein starter set, you, like I said, you start building off of that, and you will come to a point where the starter book isn't enough anymore. You want to explore that other battle that was in North Africa, and perhaps the push the British and the U.S. made towards Egypt, to take Egypt. Well, that's where these army books will come in. Now, these are the first two army books that came out with the new rules. Would be your Desert Rats and your Africa Corps. Now, this is going to contain all of the company units that were used for all those campaigns. It'll even have little mission scenarios in these books where you can literally replicate and recreate the battles that they actually fought in North Africa. Pretty cool. The other element that the new box sets for the North Africa campaigns, the new kits, and I'm going to show you two of the kits right here that I began to flesh out from El Alamein when I bought El Alamein. Here's my Panzer III box kit, and here's my 25-pounder British artillery box kit. The nice thing about these is it's got your models, you put them together, you paint them, and it has the unit cards. What are unit cards? These are unit cards. They'll have all the stats for your unit. What you basically need to hit the other teammate with a shot, or your movement values, and also on the back here to show you the point values for the unit. So what we do is we actually keep these unit cards with each unit. Let's say there's 4 Panzer IVs on the board, and I'll have a Panzer IV card, and I will actually keep it next to that Panzer IV unit, and I can refer to this through the game to refresh my memory on my hits and things. And you find that when you play more often, you'll start to memorize these stats, and you'll just start to memorize what it takes to roll the dice and hit the opponent's unit. So there's that. So the new version of Flames of War has unit cards, and these are awesome. Highly recommend it. The other thing that they brought into the game is command cards. Now, command cards add an element of surprise to the game. You can pick, say, 3 cards each for each unit, or you can decide on a point value of how many cards you get. You can just randomly select the cards. Now, this is for the Africa Corps armies, and it adds an element of where you can play a card throughout the game and throw it down and say, this is the special ability that I have. And this is a more advanced part of the rules for the new rules, but it's an element that they've added to the game that I really like. And as you get more comfortable and you start building up your army, I highly recommend that you look at getting the command cards. They're $5, $10. They're not very expensive. You can get them from Africa Corps, and you can get them for the Desert Rats. So that's another element to the new rules that I really like, and that's you can bring into your gaming. So the next tip that I have for you new players outside of getting into the mid-war desert is, as you start to build up your army, you pick up some sort of kit bag. Al, what is a kit bag? A kit bag is what I showed you earlier. It's a protective case that you can put your models in as you build and paint them to keep them safe from being damaged. You can also use the kit bags for transporting your army to tournaments, to a friend's house, etc., so that your unit all stays together, nothing gets lost, and they're protected. As I said in other videos, this is an art form, building and painting models. It is a investment. As you move forward, you'll literally have hundreds and hundreds of dollars invested in armies in this game, and you want those protected and taken care of. I personally use battle foam bags. Battlefoam.com, get on there, type in Flames of War bags. They don't sell the bags anymore that actually say Flames of War on them like the ones I have, but they have the same type of bag that's available to you. You can even pick out the types of foam inserts that you want in the bag. There's other competitors out there, so certainly Google and search away, but definitely find something to put your armies in as you build them, even if you're using a tackle box. Okay. That would be my next tip for you guys that are just beginning into the game. The next thing would be something to look forward to in the game as you start in the mid-war period, is you'll start moving into wanting to build armies that are late war. And I'll show you some books here that I've purchased over the years. I've got lots of old what we call army books. What's an army book? It's like I showed you with the Africa Corps and Desert Rats books that are really thin. Well, these two are really thick. Okay, this is the Grey Wolf, obviously German late war, and this is Red Bear. These are classic books. I highly recommend you get them as you move forward and you want to get into late war for building your armies. It's going to have missions in here. It's going to have you be able to recreate battles from late war and recreate them and have what's really similar to what was actually used in those conflicts. A great resource, lots of army lists in these two books, things to expand upon. So just to give you something to look forward to, as you start with British and German and mid-war for the new rule set, there's Soviets, there's British, or we already have British, but US, there's Italians, there's the Poles, there's on and on. French, you know, all these different armies that you can build as you move forward. So I highly encourage you to get into the game. You're thinking about getting into it, I highly encourage you to do it. The last tip I want to give you, I don't want the video to run too long, but the last tip I would give you is wargaming can get expensive. So do it step by step, you know, do it incrementally. You don't have to run out and blow $700 on kits. And the other tip along with that would be, when you do that and you buy too much at once, you tend to get overwhelmed and the kits tend to not get done. So the nice thing is to get, like the Al Alamein as example, get that box set. It's a starter set, it gets you going. It doesn't have a lot to build and paint. Get that done. Then you say, you know what, I want some artillery and I want to add some more of these tanks and more of those tanks. So you get another box, another 2 boxes maybe. Build those, paint those, and just step by step build your army up as you have time and as you want to move forward. That way you're not going to overwhelm yourself. Trust me, I've made that mistake. So welcome to the world of Flames of War. I hope this is just some little tips and little bit of advice to get you on the road. Stay tuned on this channel. I also have old videos from battle reports to painting tutorials and things to encourage you to get on the path of wargaming, in this case Flames of War. And I love the game. I've been playing the game almost 10 years, and it's always fun to play. It's always fun to paint the models. So stay tuned, come back to the channel, hit like, hit subscribe, and enjoy Flames of War. All right, here we have a shot of the game board, and I have my quick reference sheet there that you can find online. There's our Tiger tank with his unit card. There's our Panzer Grenadier platoon with their unit card. There's our tape measure for measuring distances for movement. And we have Panzer IVs. There's the objective, which is the church. And we also have a dice rolling tray to keep the dice off of the floor. And a cutaway here, we're going to show you the palm groves and the hills. And you can see my past videos on how to make the palm groves and also how we did the board. And there's the British side, ready for action. Another dice tray. And I highly recommend that you guys get the battle foam bags. There's other competitors out there. The other thing that I like to do is keep them all on a nice shelf kit like this to keep everything together and keep everything nice and organized. But this is another solution. It's an inexpensive storage cabinet. It'll keep all your armies together and will keep the dust and the grime off of your well painted models. Now this is another storage container that I use for keeping all my scenery that's not being played with. We've got buildings, we got clumps of trees, and everything is nice and organized and kept clean. As you guys get into the hobby, you'll want to develop a place where you can paint and build your armies. This is my painting area, complete with a paint carousel. I have a build table with a smart TV. I got all my flocking and my basing materials, sand, some tools, and all of my glues. And panning over here to the left, we'll see my airbrush booth, complete with some freshly painted models where I do my base coating and my finish coating. Alright guys, have a good one and thanks for watching.